My name is Sean McCoy. I'm National Business Development Director, Employee Benefits Advocates. We're an educational company. We're based out of Shreveport, Louisiana. I've been working with federal employees now for the last 12 years. I have about 33 years of experience in the financial services industry. I don't practice anymore. During the last 12 years, I've spoken to probably conservatively around 28,000 federal employees and delivered thousands of federal employee benefit briefings. Our host today is Nick Woodward. He's our senior online strategist. He's the person that helps us with anything that has to do with our sales and marketing efforts, particularly as it relates to an online strategy using the web. Before we get into the presentation, there's a couple things I do want to point out. First off, a question we get all the time is, how are you guys structured? Are you an IMO? Are you an FMO? We're none of the above. We're actually just strictly an educational company. We do not distribute any products. We're not licensed, so you don't need to worry about potentially splitting any commissions or anything of that nature with us. When you want to get in with the federal market, there's really some things that I want to point out that you really need to have, and those are what I call the 3 C's or commitment. The first is you have to be committed to be a scholar of the benefits. That's the first C of commitment. The next C is you have to be committed to the time of the resource to be able to develop the market. So this is not something you're going to go out and automatically set up a briefing next week or have something where you have 50 people at a dinner at Ruth Chris Steakhouse. That's not how it works. It takes a while to develop, and we're going to talk about several different methods you'll have in order to work with federal employees. And then the third C is the commitment of the financial resources to invest not only in learning about the federal employee benefits, but also the time and effort and the money associated with developing the market. So federal employees are a large untapped market. According to the Office of Personnel Management, there's about 2.8 million federal employees, including about 600, almost 700,000 postal employees. So it's a large and untapped market. So I'm assuming you're here today because you're looking for an opportunity to work with pretty much an undiscovered niche market that has quite a bit of opportunity in terms of the breadth of the individuals that you can work with within the federal government, as well as the opportunities to provide assistance. Why should you work with federal employees? Well, first off, the federal workforce population is age 50 or older compared to about 24% in the private sector. The average age for federal employees is about 47 with about 16.3 years of service. And according to the Office of Personnel Management, beginning in 2018, about a third of the federal population became eligible to retire. So if you put that into perspective, that's about 776,000 people that are eligible to retire within the federal government. That's a tremendous amount of people that you could potentially work with. As Nick mentioned, one of the nuances about federal employees is people believe that federal employees are not well compensated, when in fact they are. They must be competitively paid in order for the federal government to compete with private sectors or risk losing a recruit to a private sector company. The location of federal employees, 85% of all federal employees work outside the Metro DC area, with the top 10 states being, with federal employees being California, Texas, Virginia, Maryland, Florida, New York, Pennsylvania, Georgia, Illinois, and Ohio. When you're working with federal employees, there's really 7 key areas that you can assist federal employees. And we'll go through those 7 key areas. The first is in the area of maximizing their pension or a pension income alternative, sometimes referred to as pension maximization. Both the old system, the civil service retirement system, and the new system both have a defined benefit plan. And they must make a survivor election at retirement. And in some cases, it may behoove them to take out a life insurance policy in lieu of taking the maximum survivor benefit because of the many options that they may present in terms of flexibility and how those benefits are used for survivors. So that would be using a life insurance policy in order to accomplish that. An area where I found that most federal employees and most of the people I've talked to that work with federal employees are unaware of this opportunity, and it's FERS with less than 10 years of service. You see, if a FERS with less than 10 years of service dies and they don't receive a pension, all they receive is a lump sum amount equal to about half of their salary, and this year about $34,500. So if there is no pension coming in, you have a risk management from the income replacement, as well as a health insurance issue if there are not minor children in the family, because the surviving spouse will not continue the health insurance at the employee rate. They'll actually continue at what's called the TCC rate, which is like COBRA in the private sector. So it's about 102% of the premium, very expensive. So life insurance may be a potential solution to assist those employees in dealing with that risk management. The Thrift Savings Plan is the largest defined contribution program in the world. And the challenge is that they need help with allocating their assets. About 40% of all the assets are in the G Fund, which is essentially a high yield money market account. So their assets are not put in the proper allocation while they're working, so they need some assistance with that, along with potential distribution options available so that they can have the most flexibility and get all of the bells and whistles that they're looking for on products and services that you may provide. The voluntary contribution program is kind of unique. It's only available to the CSRS and the CSRS offset. This is an old defined contribution program that was put in place well in advance of the TSP. What this allows is a employee covered under the CSRS or offset program to put up to 10% of everything they've owned over their entire working career, and then turn around and be able to use the VCP as a conduit and move those assets into a Roth IRA, thereby taking funds that they are receiving 1099s on, using the VCP as a conduit and putting it into a Roth, thereby avoiding the typical contribution limits of $6,000 or $7,000, depending on their age, and the income limitations that can oftentimes prevent individuals from contributing. Now, the downside of this opportunity is, according to the Office of Personnel Management, there's only approximately 2% of the population that remains that are covered under this particular CSRS or offset, and that constitutes about 55,000 federal employees or less. Now, to give you an idea about the breadth of some of the assets within the TSP, this is a chart that comes from the Office of Personnel Management website, and it shows you how those assets are broken down. So you can see there's a wide distribution of the amount of assets that are available to help the employees when they retire, and also there are solutions you may be able to provide to them that are better and offer more choices than what they have by leaving it in the TSP. One note on this particular chart, you'll notice that there's about 9,600 people that have over $1 million in the TSP. The three final areas of assistance come in the area of the federal employee group life insurance, the disability, and the long-term care. So these are all risk management issues. So the federal employee group life insurance, the largest life insurance program in the world, this particular program is a term insurance program, and they have several different coverages that are available. But the one that's probably the most egregious is their Option B coverage. It's a salary multiple up to 5 times. And what happens is that when they get into the 50s, the cost of the insurance goes up to about 28.3 cents per thousand. When they reach their next age demarcation at age 55, it goes up to about 93.4 cents per thousand, and it then just continues to go up exponentially after that. So what you have is you have an increasing cost associated with the life insurance, and thus presents an opportunity to provide a private insurance policy using private sector life insurance. Disability coverage. With the federal government, they do not have a disability insurance plan. They have a disability retirement. And what happens in that particular situation is that after the first year they're at 60% of their high 3. offset by 100% of anything they receive from Social Security, and it is taxable. After the first year, it drops to 40%. So this provides an opportunity to either set up a disability standalone policy, which could include both long-term and short-term benefits, or perhaps as a rider to go on a life insurance policy, thereby taking care of perhaps multiple needs with one policy. The final area of assistance comes in the term of the long-term care. They do have a long-term care program with John Hancock. It's a pretty brown bag basic program in that it only provides coverage for an individual life. There's no opportunity to combine lives with spouses, and thus may create the need for a long-term care policy, or maybe a critical or chronic illness rider that goes with a life insurance policy. So those are essentially the 7 key areas of opportunity to assist federal employees. That does not mean that all areas are going to be available for every employee, so it provides you the chance to utilize your skills in order to triage what's most important and how you can probably best assist them. So at this point, you're probably asking yourself 2 questions. 1, what's the best way to find new prospects and turn them into clients? And then 2, how can I get the professional knowledge I'll need to work with feds? Well, this is where we come in. Federal Employee Benefit Advocates has 2 programs that we can provide you that can assist you to work with federal employees, as well as give you the knowledge, tools, and support that you need with federal employees. So we accomplish this through our FedEd Advisor Training Program. This is designed to be an interactive, hands-on training session that will help you to understand all the various nuances of federal employee benefits, along with the various calculations that you'll need to understand in order to work with federal employees. In addition to that, we also offer seminars through our Federal Employee Benefit Seminars program. These are designed to help you to educate federal employees and to build relationships with them. So let's focus first on the FedEd program. So the FedEd program, as I mentioned, gives you the knowledge, tools, and support that you need to work with federal employees. Now, we accomplish this by beginning with what we call our pre-study guide. Once you sign up for the class, the pre-study guide will be mailed to you. We try to get this to you, if possible, about 2 weeks prior to the class to give you an ample opportunity to be able to go through and review the materials, to be prepared so that when we start the class. We go through a lot of information in the class, and so it's critical that you have at least some baseline of knowledge. It'd be very similar to if you took a pre-licensing class for a life insurance license or securities license. They typically will send you the materials in advance to give you a running start at being prepared for the class. What happens then is about 2 days before the class begins, because we do these virtually now, you'll receive a classroom workbook. And this classroom workbook will have a copy of all the slides that we'll go through in the presentation. These are set up 2 per page so that you have an ability to not only to read them, but also to do various calculations in what we call the drill for skill portion of the benefit training. Also, this classroom workbook will become a valuable resource for you. I've had many people who have called me after the class and said, you know, I keep this on my desk, and anytime I have questions, I simply open it up and refer to it. And again, it makes a good, valuable reference piece for you. One of the huge differentiators in our program versus anybody else in this particular space is our marketing workbook. This is where we teach you how to identify, locate, and communicate with federal employees for the purposes of developing your own prospecting resources. So what we do is we teach you how to identify opportunities within your particular state. We can take that down to a county level and then be able to help you find individual employees in geographic areas. So you're going to be able to prospect directly to federal employees for the purposes of either A, offering them a complimentary benefits analysis, or you may offer them the chance to come in and participate in a webinar. In addition, we also teach you how to find key points of contact. so that you can reach out to federal agencies and offer them the chance to be able to have virtual briefings or face-to-face once we go back to that world with an entire group from a particular agency. And then the hybrid of that would be something where you would have what I call an all-call, where you're inviting individuals and agency contacts to participate in either a virtual or, when the world starts turning right again, face-to-face. So this is something that if you look at any other program out there, no one else is going to do this. No one else is going to teach you how to market. What I like to tell people is we operate like a bait and tackle store that have guides, services available. We're not in the business of selling you fish. We're not a fish market. We're not fishmongers. We're not in the business of selling leads or taking your money and setting up seminars, whether they be virtually in person. We want to empower you to be in control of your own prospecting methods. In addition, we also provide you with certain marketing materials that you can use that if you are able to do face-to-face or if you do Zoom-type meetings, you can provide information to various points of contacts so that you would have the ability to show them the type of programs that you offer and have the collateral material to work with it. Now, some of these materials are free. They come with the class, and some of them are paid items that you can purchase through our online store. This is an example of some of the various postcards that we have available. Some people still use them. Some people use them as a way to confirm appointments, but we have different postcards to help you get the attention based on whether you're going directly to a federal employee, to an agency, or if you're doing some type of all-call meeting. We also have email templates that also go with each of these different types of prospecting methods. As a part of our program, we also include a software from a company called Ready Retire out of Dallas, Oregon. They offer what used to be called the Trust Builder software. This is now called the Federal Gap Calculator. Now, this is a comprehensive software program that will afford you the chance to be able to give federal employees a meaningful report about their benefits. Oftentimes, it's used as an incentive piece to encourage people to sign up to sit down with you so that you can give them complimentary information. One of the new additions for this year is we've now added our pension, or added their Pension Max illustration, which to me is probably one of the best in the industry. And we've done that specifically because what we've done is we've created case studies that go along with 5 of the 7 opportunities, so that when the class is complete, you'll be able to review these case studies and not only be able to use that as a basis for helping to solve the needs for your prospective clients, but also as a guide to use when you're constructing your own illustrations. And this comes as a part of the program. If you were to go out and purchase this directly from Ready Retire, this would be about an $800 cost that you would incur in order to get the software, but we include it as part of the program for the first year, and then after that, it's up to you to choose to renew it. We also provide you with a zip drive that has what we call our digital resource library. These are about 85 different forms and publications that you would use in the course of working with federal employees, and these are designed to help you to lessen your learning curve. The materials we provide you could not certainly give you every single detail about the benefits, and so these are supplementary guides and forms to help you, as I said, shorten your learning curve as it relates to federal benefits, and to be used as a resource when needed in the future. In addition, we also provide you with what we call our FedEd Advisor online exam. Now, with the FedEd program, you receive a certificate of completion. You do not receive a specific designation. When you take the course, you will be given an opportunity after the class in order to test. It's 100 questions. You must score 75 in order to pass. And then if you do, then we send you a framed certificate of completion that's suitable for hanging on the wall. This is a closed book test. and it is done online. If you do want certified financial planning credits, we have those available, but you would have to have the exam proctored by an individual in order to receive those credits. So this is a comprehensive training program. It starts with our pre-study guide. We provide you with the classroom workbook along with the marketing workbook. We also are going to give you the Ready Retire solution that comes with the Pension Max module. We also give you the chance to demonstrate your knowledge through our online test that if you successfully complete, you get a certificate of completion, and it's eligible for 12 hours of CFP credits. And we also provide you with a digital resource library. So the way these classes are conducted, they're conducted in 4-hour sessions over a 3-day period. The materials are sent to you for the pre-study guide as soon as you sign up for the class. The classroom workbooks for both the marketing as well as the educational materials will come about 2 to 3 days before the class begins. You get the Ready Retire solution as well as the online exam. Now, the cost for the program is $1,850, so that includes all of that. In addition, we also give you service after the sale. So if you have questions as you're going through working with federal employees, you can always contact us, and we should be able to answer any questions that you might have about the program. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to unmute everyone and give everyone an opportunity. If you do have a question, go ahead and state your question. You can unmute yourself if you do have a question. So I'll pause for just a moment and allow time for questions.
Must that $1,850 be paid entirely up front, or is it broken up in a series of payments?
Well, I believe this is Paul. Paul, we can certainly have an offline discussion about how the payments would be made. We just require that they are completed prior to the start of the class. But if you do have questions, you can contact me afterwards, and we can discuss how that might work with your situation.
Hey, I've got a question. I'm a Series 7 licensed stockbroker in addition to a lot of insurance experience. Do you ever run into compliance problems with regard to securities and exchange rules?
Well, we don't run into any compliance issues as it relates to SEC because we are not governed by the SEC, nor are we governed by FINRA. But what we do is we do have a compliance protocol that we can work with. I'm a former 7, 24, and 66. And then I used to work for a broker-dealer as well as work in a compliance role. I don't like to usually tell people that. But, yes, if you do have issues as it relates to the compliance, we can certainly work with you on that. In most cases, compliance is not required to review the material that we cover in our Fed Ed class because this is simply an educational class. Now, anything that you would have client facing, yes, we have a whole compliance protocol that we can work with you on to make sure that any client facing materials has been reviewed and approved by your compliance department.
Great.
All right, any additional questions? Very good. Well, now we'll move on. So what we've talked about thus far is the opportunity for a class. So let's talk about when the class is going to occur. The class will occur on February the 23rd, 24th, and 25th. The times will be 11 to 3 Eastern, 10 to 2 Central, 9 to 1 Mountain, and then 8 to 12 in the Pacific time. The registration for the class will end on February the 12th. And the reason for that is we want to make sure we have plenty of opportunity to mail you out the materials for the pre-study guide and the other classroom materials. So thus far, we've talked about our FedEd Advisor program. Now let's talk about FEBA seminars. FEBA seminars are designed to provide educational seminars or briefings for federal employees to help you to build a relationship with them and to educate them. Federal employees desperately need your assistance. You know, I used to say all the time, it surprises me about, you know, the information that they don't know. And now I don't say that because I know they need your help. They need help to help understand their benefits and to help make decisions. So to that end, we have a complete seminar program. We offer you the industry's premier seminar programs in a virtual format. Now, these are designed to be 1 hour, 2 hour, and 4 hour sessions with a handout. It goes over a variety of topics depending on the duration of the seminar, and it's set up so that it's easy to use in a PowerPoint format. As far as the delivery, you can deliver it yourself, or if you like, you can contract us. This is where our guide service, but we do not set up the seminar. You can simply hire us to come in and be a speaker. Now, we're offering all of these for $1,250. That gives you a 12-month subscription to use the programs. At the end of the 12 months, you would renew that for $500. Now, if you have more than one person in your office that will be using or benefiting from the seminar, we also have site licenses that are available for multiple users, as well as we have this set up in a generic format so that it can be branded with your appropriate branding, or, as the gentleman mentioned earlier, disclaimer language that would need to go on based upon your broker-dealer or your registered investment advisor requirements. And these are available to be licensed. We also have coming out in the very near term various types of services to also assist you in the areas of prospecting. With this particular online series, if you license it, we provide you with the assistance in terms of creating a registration link for your particular seminars. We also give you the invitations that can be used and customized to help you motivate the employees to attend. We have several different variations of that. There's also, as I mentioned, a handout guide that goes with each of the sessions, the 1, the 2, and the 4 hour, and these topics that are covered depending on the duration. But the handout guide can be used as an easy to follow along guide while the materials are being presented, or some people will use those as an incentive so that in order to receive the handout guide, they must provide certain contact information or sign up to meet with you afterwards. So it can be used for that. So we can help you with how that can be set up to be distributed, along with setting up an evaluation form that can be used to evaluate the materials that you'll be presenting, get the feedback to see how it's received by the participants, as well as the much needed contact information and request to be followed up so that you can perform a benefits analysis or simply meet with them to answer their individual questions, whether that be virtually or in person. We also have some additional materials available for financial literacy. This is a generic financial literacy presentation. It could be presented to anyone in the country. It's not germane specifically to federal employee benefits, and oftentimes this is delivered in addition to the regular benefit briefings. Most typically, the way that our firm delivers it is we deliver it in a half-day session, whether we do it in person or we do it virtually. Our newest seminar offering is divorce and its effect on federal employees. One of the things that I found over the last several years of working with federal employees is that divorce is a topic that is very challenging for federal employees because they don't understand all the different nuances and how, if they make bad decisions, it can come back and affect them dramatically in their retirement. The other thing is a lot of attorneys don't understand. So you have a good opportunity here to provide educational content to both federal employees as well as attorneys and other interested parties. These are set up in 2 hour and 4 hour sessions, and then we do have the collateral material to support that. So those are our two programs, the Federal Employee Benefits Advocate Seminars, as well as the FedEd program. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and open it up to see if anyone has any questions about the program, and then we'll close it out. So I'm going to unmute everyone. Okay, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask your question.
I've got a question again. With regard to the divorce seminar, what sorts of financial products would most likely end up after the analysis being sold? What would the potential be?
Well, that's an interesting question. There are several different opportunities. The first off is if they are getting a divorce, they're going to have to make a decision about whether they want to split the pension or not. And oftentimes that is not the way that they want to go. So you would have either A, the opportunity to potentially sell some type of annuity product that would be able to accumulate funds to be able to offset what the pension would provide. The other area that'd be much more simplistic would be to fund a life insurance policy where the surviving spouse that would normally receive the benefits would be the owner of the beneficiary, and then they're compelled by the court to make the payment. The other area is if there are separating TSP assets, there's certainly an opportunity to capture those assets. And then also in a single situation, people may be more cognizant of needing disability because now they don't have a spouse to take care of them, also in the area of long-term care. So depending on where they are in their life and their career and what their family situations are, it can run the gamut of basically all the products that you probably distribute.
Okay, thanks.
All right, any additional questions that we have? Okay, so as we mentioned, the FedEd class is available to be enrolled in. You will receive a copy of this presentation in a recorded format after the conclusion of this presentation. It'll probably come out tomorrow. The registration for this, which there'll be a registration link on the email, the cost on this is $18.50. And then as we mentioned about our seminar packages, this is something that we found that a lot of people may not have the time or the skill set to be able to create these. So these are professionally designed seminars that come with the handouts for the 1, the 2, and the 4 hour. And as I mentioned, the cost on these to license these for the first year is $1,250, then it renews at $500. So when you put that into perspective about the time and the effort and the energy needed to create these presentations, this is a great deal, and especially with the cost. Also, if you do sign up for this program, we have a special running now through the middle of February. The first 10 people that sign up for the class, that sign up for the package, will receive 1,000 email leads that we'll send out to distribute to help support the program. Again, if you want more details on that, you can simply, contact me, and I can be reached at area code 720-432-3331, or you can email your questions to me at Sean@FEB Advocates. So we offer you the comprehensive programs that give you the knowledge, tools, and support that you'll need to work with federal employees. So I'll open it one more time for any additional questions, and then after that, we'll have Nick sign off, and then we'll be done for the morning. Does anyone have any additional questions?
Not seeing any. Sean, thank you so much for your time, and we look forward to emailing everybody all the links they'll need. So with that, have a great day, everybody. Thanks so much.